Welcome to the People's Verdict. I'm your host, Patrick Soko, and today we have another interesting episode of the program. My guest today is Independent CHASEFU Member of Parliament, Honorable MISHECK NYAMBOSE. Is going to help me discuss various issues pertaining to development and as well as issues that borders on the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Soko, and I want to thank Camnet TV for giving me this opportunity to appear, to interact with the public, and also speak to the issues of development and other national issues. I'm really humbled to be here, and I want to say thanks so much to the management and yourself.
Thank you. You are always welcome, Honorable, because Camnet TV is a platform for the people and we value divergent views, and that's what we do throughout the day on Camnet Television. And today on the People's Verdict, you too, our dear viewers, you join us and be able to give us your contribution on the program. You can ask our guest questions in case you want to do so. And remember, you can also do so on our social media platforms such as Facebook as well as YouTube. This broadcast is actually being streamed live on those platforms. Make sure you leave us that text message or any leave us that question, and our guest will be able to attend to your concerns. And to just get us started with our program, Honorable, we are looking at the CDF. But before we get into those issues, let's look at how has been your term in terms of you were just about 2 years. You'll be going to 2 years when we reach August. But now, a year and some months, how would you rate your term? How has it been so far? How is your experience as a parliamentarian?
Thanks so much for that very powerful and loaded statement and question. I want to state that I would rate myself to say that I've enjoyed the learning process. Mm-hmm. My background, I've been in the trade unions.
Yes.
And I'm now learning the secular politics. Mm-hmm. And what is important is every day is a learning day. You learn different things. Mm-hmm. But it's not much a different situation, because when it comes to debate, that is what we are trained, and not trained really, that is what we are made of as trade unionists. Mm-hmm. All the time we speak for people and looking at the welfare of the workers, and now we are looking at the general populace of CHASEFU and the nation. So the stage is different in that it's no longer specifically workers. We are looking at the general populace,
exactly.
The Zambians. So in that stage, I also talk about issues to do with workers in Parliament and in CHASEFU. Mm-hmm. I've got to do with issues of other workers who are farmers and the citizens of CHASEFU. So I've been learning. I wanted to know the do's and don'ts, how to when to debate and how to debate. Mm-hmm. So it's quite interesting in Parliament. The only difference from the platform that we came from mm-hmm. is that everything that you do is regulated. You have even in the debate, they give you limited minutes. Where I come from, I would give a row to space to debate. Mm-hmm. So in Parliament, everything is regulated, when to debate and which motions to debate on, you have to indicate. But there in the trade unions, once you go to debate, you are given platform to mm-hmm. speak out the challenges of the workers. So in terms of learning, I'm learning. In terms of my representation on behalf of the people of CHASEFU, I think I cannot rate myself. Mm-hmm. But the people of CHASEFU would understand that they have a member of Parliament representing them in Parliament. So I've really appreciated.
Interesting perspectives there, Honorable. But we want to pick on your perspective on our topic of discussion here. We say, do you think CDF is the only answer to development? This question emanates from the fact that when people talk about development, those in authority are saying, CDF, we have CDF. Can you ask how CDF is being utilized now? I want to get your perspective as a parliamentarian. Is CDF the only answer to our development as a country?
First of all, my response to that question is quite, I do say yes or no.
Start with the yes.
First, I will start with the yes. The current CDF is different from the previous CDF. CDF has been there from, is it 2002? Or no, I've forgotten the year. But CDF has been there.
Yes.
Since its introduction, it started as a small fund to help the Member of Parliament. They were getting cash to go and supplement on the government efforts and give to where they felt there was need. But the CDF under the new dawn is a game changer. And if you look at the development trajectory, this country has developed so much in the urbanized areas. I'll pick Lusaka.
Yes.
For Lusaka, they can't easily see what CDF is doing. But for a rural constituency like CHASEFU, you come and see there. They are seeing this enhanced CDF. As I said, CDF has not started now. The immediate past government was given 1.6 million. The rural constituencies like CHASEFU has really lagged behind in terms of development. And I always tell people that when people were saying that we have taken development to all parts of this country, and you go and see CHASEFU now, and you see the Member of Parliament talking, you'd say, is it true this is the CHASEFU where this Member of Parliament comes from, where other members of Parliament have come from, the former? CHASEFU and other rural constituencies in this country, they have really lagged behind in terms of development. Poor road network, lack of water, lack of school, classroom space for our children. Right now in CHASEFU, when you go to certain places, they're learning from trees. And they are sheltering in grass-thatched churches. But it's a school, and government now, this government, generous, they gave us more teachers. So now all those teachers now have been posted where our children are, but we are in no structures. There are no structures. Now, this CDF, yes, it is one of the major sources of development. Currently, we are speaking now. It has changed the whole development trajectory for the rural constituencies, for the constituencies in Zambia. Not only rural, it's making a big difference. And I always thank the president, because this country is big. This country is not only Lusaka, it's not only Kitwe, it's not only urbanized Livingstone. But this country has to do with CHASEFU, Chama North, Chama South, Lumezi, Lundazi, and other rural, Inivubwi, Chadiza, Mwinirunga, Chikankata. So this country, a major part of this country is underdeveloped. So the coming of the new Dawn administration under President Hakainde Hichilema, how he thought of this issue of CDF, the enhanced CDF, we give him kudos and we give him praise. And we pray to our God that if this can be the trajectory in the next 5-10 years, CHASEFU will not be the same. This country will not be the same. So
now
the other no
now
say that besides the CDF, there are certain developments that CDF may not do, such as tarring of Lundazi Chama Road. It's a government road, and this road has never seen bituminous standard, has never seen a tarmac. It is dilapidated. It is a road that when you want to start off, even from Chipata, do you know how many hours we take a stretch of 172 kilometers? For you to reach Lundazi, you take 4 hours. And by that time you're coming back, just Lundazi, not CHASEFU. By the time you're coming back, the vehicle is broken. You need to fix it. It's a bad road that you wonder, 58 years after independence, where were the other governments? Why didn't they do? Now we are crying as a people of CHASEFU, Lundazi, Lumezi, Chipangali, and Chama. that we need this road tied. So CDF cannot do that. But look at the roads within CHASEFU. Actually, there are no roads to talk about. So now this CDF that President Takainde has given, it has enabled us to buy machinery. They are packed there. So we are going to do all these other roads and other remedial works on these to patch up. But do we have the money enough to come up with a road on the main trunk road? If it's called trunk road, for lack of a better term, the main road going to Chama. We want to go to Chama Nakonde to go and do our shopping. We want traffic to pass through Nakonde from Tanzania. It comes a shortcut, goes to Chanida border in Mozambique. It goes to Mwami border in Malawi. That is the shortest route. But now if you look at transport now, the goods are going through Lusaka, coming to Mwami, coming to Chanida. So it makes business very expensive. So if this road can be done, it will be good for the people of CHASEFU, Lundazi, and Zambia. But now, can it be done under CDF? The answer is no.
But do you have hope under the UPND that the road may be worked on?
Hope is there. I have so much hope. The only challenge is that we must pray for them to fix this economy, in the sense that this bailout package, it will ease all the debt burden that the country has. Many people know, or now the people are realizing that this country is in very big debt. That if we are not prudent, we can even fail to pay the civil servants. Because the country accumulated recklessly this debt. We hear I'm a parliamentarian. I see when the figures are being put there by Minister of Finance.
But also this government has continued to get new debt.
Yes, but because I don't know how to sustain. I've been in the system. For instance, you have your personal economics component of your GDP or your budget, which takes 60%. It is quite huge. And when you don't have an economy that is performing, I'm not an economist, I'm a local government practitioner. So I don't want to dwell so much on those. But the basic knowledge I have that we're in big debt. And this country, if it was a company, was supposed to be liquidated. But we have hope. That's why we have government, isn't it?
Yes.
That's why we have as members of parliament, to ensure that we check the government, how it is accumulating this debt and how they are spending the money. But so far, even to reach at this stage, it's miraculous for us.
Now that we are still on the subject of the Constituency Development Fund, the CDF, there is a concern, I don't know if the people of CHASEFU are equally experiencing this, that the CDF has been tedious in terms of unlocking it and making sure that the funds are utilized in accordance with the provisions of the guidelines. There has been concerns. How is the process, how do you rate the process on your perspective as a member of parliament for CHASEFU?
I want to say, if you are development oriented and you're serious, you make those follow-ups. I don't think it is a very big problem. Right now, I can confirm that this Minister of Law Government and the President, they have devolved all their functions. You no longer have to go to the Minister of Law Government. They have unlocked everything. So we don't have any excuse. The only challenge that we are remaining with is the issue of the Attorney General for these contracts to be confirmed. And we are pushing as members of Parliament. Recently, I was in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, their procurement system is all done at the council. The only oversight is the Auditor General's office, and remember, in Zimbabwe itself, the Speaker's office, National Assembly, is able to check. But if we can devolve everything, right now there's no major excuse, my brother, Soko, to say that there is a challenge of speedy approvals.
Yes.
No, we have a provincial law government officers, the provincial minister and the PS there. In Eastern Province, things are moving. So we don't have that backlog to say. The moment papers leave Attorney General's office for a legal confirmation, it is there. So if the office of the Attorney General can be decentralized also to give the office of the judges in the provinces to be dealing with these legal offices there, then things will be okay.
What about the issue of monitoring? Others have argued, Honorable, that the country may experience a lot of audit queries come the end of the cycle of the resources, in terms if the local authorities are to be audited, we may have that challenge in terms of because probably most councils were not ready, and issues pertaining to corruption may also rise. I don't know. What's your perspective on that thought?
It's not an issue of the councils not being ready. The councils have been and I want to make it very clear.
But is that at that quantity of 28.3 million?
Let me explain. Let me explain. I've been a local government officer, and it's not because of being a local government employee. It's the knowledge of every Zambian that they should know that the center of administration in every district is the local authority. That is why it's called local government. This is a ministry, a very important and big ministry, to coordinate all the administration, organization, development in the councils. That is the function of the local government. And from time immemorial, from inception, local government has been coordinating CDF. So, in terms of capacity, it is an issue of mindset. And individuals in the councils, not all councils in this country, to give a blanket statement that the councils do not have the capacity is not fair. I will be very unfair. But you know, where the central government, actually councils maybe, I can say they are better off than central government. There are more audit queries in central government than in councils. So these issues of audit queries are all over. But what do we need to do?
I think we must have a call. Hello, you are through to the People's Verdict. Hello? Good afternoon. I think we've lost that call. You can still join the conversation in case you want to get in touch with us. The number is on your screen in case you want to ask our guest, who is the independent member of parliament for CHASEFU constituency, Mr. MISHECK NYAMBOSE, and we are discussing issues pertaining to development and governance. You too can leave us that perspective in terms of our social media platforms on Facebook as well as on YouTube. We are streaming the program live. Let's proceed. Honorable, there was some issues I wanted to look at before we leave this issue pertaining to CDF. You ably tackled the issue pertaining to the aspect of accusation of the aspect of competency. Now, I want to bring to your attention another interesting issue, and this is the issue where you are being you've been there as a local government officer, but people are saying this CDF has overwhelmed councils to the extent that they are failing to function. Let me pick this call first before that. Hero, you are through to the program. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, this is the People's Verdict. You can give us your perspective, sir.
Pardon?
Your name and where you are calling us from? Lusaka West. You are Mr. All right, you can go ahead with your contribution.
Okay, thank you. Amanda. Thank you. Yes, I would like to just add something. I've read everything what I said. I'm feeling Tama, and I know what you say is true. People in Tama, they are suffering. And now the issue that we are having here is that when the CPS money is given from the top, I think what needs to be done there is to look for some someone who can, like what I've seen in road construction is for Southern. Once they just go there maybe once a day, or maybe they'll go there after 2 days, and that money is working, and those guys that have to do it, are not provided. So, most of the time we complain that the government is not doing well. When the government is there, they are giving out the money, and no one is there to say. So what I really emphasize is that for the working in road construction also. So we need in terms, I think, there's only two things what we need to improve. It's the engineers. We need to don't be an engineer. So we have educated engineers who can do better than using the foreign engineers.
Oh, okay.
The second is about the consultants. We need to improve in consultants. We need someone like in government officials to take time to tell here and there so that things can be done. Because most of the time what is that, even if I saw when we are working, mixing
Okay, we've lost that one, but I think his perspectives are clear.
Yeah,
His
it's very
views are
clear, and I want to agree with him. We have a challenge of engineers. Even on CDF, not only on the main contracts on the roads, but even in the councils. I've had an opportunity to share with the Local Government Service Commission, with the PS for Local Government, Mr. Maundu, and the Minister. Every time I speak, I've advised that, especially for these newly created districts, it is my wish and desire that the Commission should send or assign experienced engineers. Taking engineers from college and to expose them to be the lead people, they may not have the know-how in terms of practical. This CDF has come. It is a thing that we are pleased that government is taking money for development. And what we want is not shoddy works. We want quality works delivered on time. And this can only happen when we have people who appreciate that the whole thing centers on engineering and planning. So, I'll give an example. Me, I'm not ashamed to say, because of lack of supervision, the caller said, in my own constituency 2 weeks ago, the engineer could not visit the site. He sends a contractor without giving full information. Instead of that contractor we were trying to habilitate a school, and we said we break it, we start it from the ring beam, 2 courses on top. A very intact school. Do you know why? Because of lack of supervision. Where you visit, you just send someone, go and do this without fully explaining. They have brought down the whole school. The whole classroom broke. These are the things happening because of the attitude of certain officers. When the president is speaking, for us who have been brought up in the system, in the local government, from the lowest rank, we believe that even a senior, even a minister says something, or through a secular, that is policy we should follow. So you must understand what the president, especially Hakainde Hichilema, is saying. The 3 principles. He wants quick delivery of projects at the lowest cost and the highest standard. Lowest cost, highest standard, and the quickest time delivery. So when the president is speaking, us of members of parliament, we pick it because we understand. We take it to our technocrats. But the technocrats' way and attitude, they may not understand that the president wants and is eager to see that the country changes within a short period of time. The MP wants things to move. So some of the officers may not understand. They're still in the old culture. So it's a cultural change to some, not everyone. But if you find these councils like big councils who have experienced engineers, experienced planners, and experienced officers, then they understand because they've been in the system for long. So the best the commission or the government can do, these districts that are new districts, they must send experienced people so that quality works are done and are done on time, instead of us quarreling with officers. at that level. Then all these municipalities and cities, these are big. For instance, I'll tell you Lusaka. Lusaka has 7 constituencies. If not, Kitwe has 5. So if you look at these, to be managed by a few planners and engineers, monitoring become a problem.
Exactly.
The best, I've shared this with the government, I've whispered, because I come from the same background, is that they should dedicate each constituency, in Lusaka for instance, should have its own dedicated officers. Let's say for Matero, let's say for Mandevu. Dedicated officers who will be answerable and running with things, then the people quickly see the results of the CDF. Because if there are very few, because this is a game changer, I cannot hide to you. This is a game changer for the country, and if we manage it, this country will never be the same. What the president has done, he has taken money from the central here, where we were building all these flyover bridges and neglecting Runda's Chama Road. We are doing all these street lights and neglecting CHASEFU boarding. So now he has taken these monies to our places. If we have these officers who also appreciate that government is in a hurry to ensure that the results of this CDF are seen, so that our people in CHASEFU should see the benefit of having a new government and having a government who is sending the money to them. So the people will see the result that this is what we want. Because those people are Zambians. There's no way CHASEFU cannot have a boarding school. There's no way CHASEFU can have those bad roads. There's no way CHASEFU children should be learning under the trees. So now that the government and the president, there's no way children can be sitting, and I can tell you 99% of our children in CHASEFU currently are sitting on the floor. You go there, you see. Now we are making these desks. We have a deficit over 12,000 desks.
Under this current CDF, how many desks are you working with?
Right now, as I'm talking to you, I can even show you the pictures. What have we done? We have mopped all this, the steel. Desks which were broken, have no wood on them, they were thrown away. We have picked from all the schools. They are at Emusa there. Right now, they are showing me, I will show you what they are doing at Emusa. Our youths, whom we trained through CDF, took them for skills training in Ukwimi, Chipata Trades, Lusaka Trades. Those who were the first, they have come back, they have graduated, we have given them an opportunity to showcase their skill. They have been organized in groups. Right now, they are making 2,100 desks that we are giving them to do. And we have procured 450 new desks. And we are procuring, under 2023, we are procuring 3,000 more. So we want to beat the target, which the president has given us, so that our children in CHASEFU can see a desk. As you see most of these infrastructure in CHASEFU, I'm proudly telling you, children are sitting on the floor. Some of them have never seen a desk. So this is a good policy. And this is what I have always called, that this is good leadership. The leadership that demonstrates that we can change the lives of the people. This is the best politics I've seen myself, and I'm very happy to associate myself, to come at a time when there's a government which thinks about the people. If our children, my brother Soko, all of them, they start sitting on the desk. All of them, they start sitting in a classroom that is well roofed, not leaking, that has a floor. What pride do you need? So these are Zambians also.
Interesting.
If our children in Mr. Soko can have health posts, mother's shelter, water coming from the tap from the health post, what else do the Zambian want? If our people in CHASEFU can now have those trucks, we grade them. We are starting right now, as I'm telling you this evening, they have concluded shortlisting grader operators. We bought machinery, a grader, a TLB, the backhoe loader, and a tractor with a tipping trailer. We are buying a tipper truck now. We have already spent on the machinery 4.1 million. Which thing was not there? That's why I'm saying that I'm a lucky member of parliament to find myself with a reasonable government that thinks for the people without segregation.
Interesting. Talking about other issues now also, and no, we will be, as we talk, we will be going back to the issue of CDF, you know, everything else hinges on CDF. But there's an interesting government pronouncement, and the people of CHASEFU on this very platform, Honorable, those we have spoken to, have raised the concern that government was not able to buy soya beans, especially during this farming season. As a lawmaker representing them, what would be your perspective on that? And what would you have to say? Are you also okay that over the way they handled the issue pertaining to soybeans?
I have taken a role of engagement because, as you have said, in CHASEFU, we are one of the major growers of soybeans. If you know, CHASEFU is one of the, it's a farming community. We do nothing but farming, soybeans. If you want sunflower, this sunflower cake, it is coming, one of the major producers is CHASEFU. So CHASEFU does rumezi, chama they grow rice and the other crops, they can grow cotton because they are in the valley. But CHASEFU does rumezi, Eastern Province, soya beans, sunflower, groundnuts, beans. The famous brown beans comes from Rundas and CHASEFU, where the people grow throughout the year. So they want, when they grow this, they find a market. And that market, the major market, is government. Government has been doing very well to buying from the people. If they don't buy everything, their price sets as a benchmark. It regulates the flow, the prices in the on the market, so that even those other private buyers are able to take the government price or not. So, not knowing what has made government not, but for sure, for speculation, it could be issues of resources. Because the government has, on the other side, increased the price of maize. And this has excited the people in CHASEFU. They are happy. Right now, they are calling, and I was there last week. They are saying, when are they opening? The day the government will open the market, there will be commotion, people wanting to sell. Because we can't believe that they've given us a good price. And we say thanks to government. But the issue of soya beans is an issue that I appeal to government to reconsider the position. To reconsider the position, because our farmers grew soya beans. Last time, when I was coming, it was at 4 kwacha per kg. 4 kwacha something per kg. The lowest price. So I don't know now, it's 6 kwacha or whatever, but if the government had come in the market, it's going to set a tone for the private buyers. So, not knowing, my role as a member of parliament is to engage, and I relate well with the government. The Honorable Mtoro Pili, I'm yet to meet him on the sidelines to see what we do. And if I had an opportunity to meet the president, of course he's already aware about this matter, because it's a concern of every person. Every member of parliament, on the floor of the house, we have debated this matter. Why can't you government reconsider their position to buy soya beans? Not, but to set the price. So we want to continue engagement, but this has affected our people. Interesting
views there, Honorable. Those are joining us. You are watching the People's Verdict on Camnet TV. We are on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 225 on GoTV, and channel 106 on Topstar. You can send those messages as well as call us in case you want to join the conversation in studio on the number that is on your screen and join the conversation. Now, Mr. NYAMBOSE, I also want to pick your perspective on this other important issue, and this is a matter pertaining to the mining sector. Let's talk about the KCM and Mopani that continue to drag. What does that mean, especially for the economy of that locality? The Copper Belt province, we understand that copper is the major foreign exchange earner for Zambia. You have been a labor leader, and you know these issues pertaining to how the mining sector works and in terms of the employment contribution to the country. What is your take, and what should be the way forward on this unlocking these two mines? But before we do that, Honorable, let me pick this call. Hello, you are through to the People's Verdict. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Hello, you are through to the program. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Yeah,
good evening.
it's now good evening. Now you can your name and where you are calling us from, sir.
I'm Carol. I want to make it the audience. The CPF is a very good program. And at the same time, you try within the resources, the client says we want the rest of it, and you don't have capacity. That we expect the technical side, who would say this person does not do capacity, then is to engage the same people within the consumer who don't have the capacity. So there, it makes the technical side to be recruited in entertainment. That's what they do. So hence, speaking this context, that's moving. So I don't want to tell what kind of system, because there's the cry who wants a lot of people. But these local people have the capacity to do it. And if you bring them along, then there's the cry that you say, no, we can not have somebody to so how do you compare that? Because what? It's true, some companies, the capacity is different because they don't want to get it for it. What they don't do, they take a lot of money, and meanwhile, the project will need to be returned again. So I have to find out how to be concerned. Capacity will need to be versus.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Though the line was a bit fainter, but we did manage to pick one or two things there, and interesting views coming from our caller. And in case you also want to give us your contribution, you can do so by calling the number on your line and join the conversation on the People's Verdict. We are also live on our Facebook page, and those are watching, we value your support every time you continue to follow our programs. Now, I was asking you pertaining to the issue pertaining to the Konkola Copper Mines and Mopani, which have continued on the aspect of Konkola Copper Mines. We have that issue pertaining to the negotiation between the government and Vedanta, and the two parties opted to resolve matters outside the court. And on the other side, Mopani needs a recapitalization to make sure that it operates viable. So now, but these are two mining giants are key contributor to the Zambian economy. Now, your perspective on that issue, Mr. NYAMBOSE.
Thanks so much, and I want to first say I like so much indulging on issues that have competence on or about. I may not have the technical understanding. What I know is that the government is working on the solution to Mopani. The competent members of parliament have debated on the floor of the house, and we are following. As a trade unionist, I've followed that the effects of the non-functional or not non-functional, but the challenge that KCM and Mopani are facing is affected so many people. It has not affected the people, the copper belt only. It is affecting the whole nation. Because as you are aware, copper production or mining is the bedrock of this country and the cornerstone of our economy. So every Zambian is eager to find this solution. And I'm very competent and they are very comfortable that when the government has told us that they're working behind the curtains to find a lasting solution to the issues of Mopani and KCM, it is my prayer that they do so. As to go into the technical jargon and speak very well on it, I may mislead the nation. Always I want to speak on issues that I'm very fully I understand and and want. I just pray that the issue of KCM and Mopani is resolved by the government for the betterment of Zambia and for the betterment of the people on the copper belt. Our people have suffered. Some of them have been declared redundant. Well, they are breadwinners, and the government is aware about this. So I would leave it to government and to other people who may be privy to that, information that can enlighten on this matter. So at that point, I restrained myself to go into the deeper issues of Mopani, and how they have resolved to go to resolve it outside the legal issues. I have not gone deeper into that.
Interesting. Let us bring you to another matter of concern. People have been of the view that local authorities have been overwhelmed by CDF to the extent that now they are failing to attend to other needy areas that are in accordance with their mandate. For instance, managing issues pertaining to social issues like how the time bars should open and close, the issues of planning pertaining to making sure that matters are attended to as expected by the local authority, making sure that people are not encroaching on land, all those other issues. Now, there has been this concern, Mr. Nyambose. What do you have to say? Did they foresee that, and how can we make sure that in as much as we are attending to CDF projects, the local authorities have a huge mandate like you area stated in your preamble?
If there is such a thing, then it is a very big lie. If it is happening that way, it is just lack of seriousness, and I don't want to go into the other details. I would be very disappointed, because the local government, the councils, the local authorities have got functions. One of the functions of the local government is provide cleaning the streets, which is one of the mandates to provide. Which
others, like in the case of Lusaka, saying they are failing?
If they are failing, it is just on the part of the management. And this is a thing that every Zambian should take note. And I'm speaking to the Zambians. It is not true that the councils have now diverted, or the attention has been diverted to CDF. The people who are sitting on the CDF are the Director of Finance, for obvious reasons. You find the DPOs sitting there, socio-economic planners sitting there, the directors of engineering. And they don't meet every day. And these are the people who do planning. So in terms of street cleaning, in terms of community policing, in terms of other functions under the council, the town clerk does not sit on CDF. The council secretary does not sit on CDF.
Because this
so if they have abandoned their core, it is lack of understanding why they are there as officers.
Because others had argued, Mr. Nyambose, like in the case of Lusaka, we had issues pertaining to council workers going to protest and going on a strike because they are saying there's no money. They haven't been paid 2 months. So they were saying, is this council being sincere in terms of correcting the revenues and meeting its mandates? Because Lusaka has quite a number of properties and responsibilities where they need to collect revenue from. But how is the understanding with the grassroots? Those are concerns that people were raising. And in the case of strikes, you know these issues very well, Mr. Nyambose.
You have asked me a very important question, but especially coming,
exactly.
I was the president of the council workers,
exactly.
for your information, for over 15 years. And if you ask the council workers, we go to any council, talk about Nyambose, that is where you find the name. Especially the local government that you are seeing now is far different from the local government that was there then. We were in 32 months arrears. Mongu was in 34. Mbala, Chipata, Mbala, Kabwe. I can tell you because I know all the workers in the councils. I know all the officers. And this is what we recruited now. And when you ask any worker, they'll tell you that was our president. And these conditions and all these, what you are seeing with the council workers, I'm not supposed to blow my own trumpet. They will tell you it is Nyambose who did this. And sometimes my heart breaks when I see that with the good government that is there, slowly want to go back to the old days. And it's very easy. But I will not comment because of the minister that I can share with certain information. Because there is no, at this time, where this government is releasing local government equalization fund every month, and those days we could delay, but these are releasing on time. The solution to this payment of salaries is unexcusable. I mean, the problem. Because the problem of councils It's very easy to collect money. But we are not focusing on that. And this is not because of the CDF. The solutions in the councils, I can tell you, my brother, it's not a thing that we can have. But I'm not supposed to, I may be stepping on people's toys, because I'm coming from there. There is no
But
problem.
you are no longer there.
I'm no longer there, but I'm being consulted. I'm a consultant now. I can share with them. The problem of
But the nation is consulting to you now.
The problem of councils, my brother, is the debt revenue collection and management. The councils, most of them, if you go now, I can challenge anyone. They have abandoned. It's either those who are collecting are pocketing the money, is not reaching the council. So when I say debt collection and management, when you go to collect from Libala, you collect rates from Libala. That money you are collecting as a revenue collector is supposed to reach the council, accounted for properly. And if that money is accounted for, it's supposed to go back to the people in terms of services. And now, part of it is supposed to be paid for the workers who are even not, some of them not involved in debt collection. I've shared with the people. It's a thing that I cannot hold. I'm a member of parliament. I'm supposed to help. If you look at the way the people who are collecting revenue in the councils, put them there. Some of them, they were members. And me, I was one of the leaders who never tolerated workers who were stealing from the council. Second, if those are collecting monies, the people want to see some services over there.
Exactly.
There are certain workers, my brother, who never handle resources. They are leaving their families to go for work, expecting to be, they are putting in their best, expected to be paid at the end of the month, but that money is not paid to them. Their productivity goes down. They feel demoralized. Because the councils, it's either management has not focused. You see, the local government that I know, let me tell you, the local government system is supposed to be a pyramid-shaped type of a structure. Lean top, heavy bottom. And if you look at the salary structures, when you have such a structure, you find that the wage bill is manageable. Because the workers at the bottom there are the street cleaners, office orderlies who clean our offices.
Exactly.
The police, council police, the people, our colleagues who go to dig graves and the other. The bottom. Those are, if they are visible in the community, if they are visible, the people are seeing the council. Way back when I was young, councils used to have those trucks, refuse trucks, green. We used to call them every council worker, one municipality to Abuela, because they were visible in the compounds. And the people, if they are visible, the council employees, people will find the time to pay their obligations, taxes, to the councils, because they are seeing the councils. But now, the salary structure that has been inherited, not now, it has not been created now, even in the previous regime I spoke about, it is a funnel. Top heavy, very lean. And these top heavy who are in management and LGSS salary scale division 1 to 3, there are so many. When you go in these offices, even people at certain councils, I can bet with you, you have 7 administrative officers, where they are supposed to be 1 or 2. So these are the things that when I'm talking, I want to help my government to come up with a solution. We must revisit the local government system. When you go into the communities, look at, even at the council there, I can challenge you, my brother. If you're going to do an investigation of the people who handle resources, look at their lifestyle. They seem not to be like they're working for the council. Most of the money is not reaching them. When you go to Saga City Council, there are scandals year after year. You go to Chongwe, there are scandals. You go to CHASEFU, there are scandals. Scandals relating to people who handle resources. So it is a pity that you find even workers, they fail to pay salaries, affecting the other workers. And if they are failing to pay salaries, they will not provide the service. If they are not providing the service, they will look to their government. President Dakainde is not looking after us. When the president is doing enough, giving resources through the local government equalization fund, he has given money. Every month the money is given to supplement on their collections. But if you look at their collection efficiency, get the council's budgets. When you get the council's budgets, you ask them, you budgeted to collect 1 million. At the end of the day, before they propose another budget, very ambitious, they fail to collect 1 million. They don't even collect 50% of it. The next year they increase to 2 million. That is the starting point. And the people of Zambia are willing to pay for the services. I've worked in the council. So I've come for CDF. It's a thing that in that I can tell you. It's not that I left a legacy. I left the council. They asked the council workers. I was a leader. I made, with my colleagues, we made these councils until we had a good government that came. The previous government could not pay the local government equalization fund for November, December. They were failing. But this government, since they took over, every local government equalization fund, that money is reaching the councils. So it's an opportunity to take advantage of this government. But what are the councils not doing? So I'm a very unpopular person amongst management officers because I know them. I know what they do.
Interesting. Those are watching us. You
So
are watching the people.
I can share, but not to make my colleagues who are there look as though.
Interesting, because what you are sharing, Honorable, is that even the management of CDF hinges on those same council workers. So at the end of the day, we are speaking the same issues. And interesting enough, we managed to get your perspective on that interesting issue, especially affecting the Lusaka City Council and other councils. We can still utilize.
I was with the town clerk,
yeah.
so-called for your information. Is it today? Yesterday? Today? Yesterday. He was coming, he came to Parliament. He asked me, and he has invited me. They invite me. And I've told the town clerk, I'll help you. This is our country.
Exactly.
We cannot stand aside and watch. No, we want to see. Because I don't see my good government that is there to go back to the old way. It's very easy. Are you aware that it's not only Lusaka which is in arrears?
Yeah, yeah, we are privy to that.
So
But
we should help our minister, we help our local government ministry, help our town clerk. Those who come, I share with them. And I tell them, I'm privileged.
During your time, we also had difficulties with councils and cadres now. How would you rate the situation at the moment? Observing as a parliamentarian as well as a consultant, especially pertaining to local government matters, we had the issue of cadres competing for resources with councils in markets and bus stations. What would be your perspective on that?
My brother, there is no good government that, as at now, if I'm going to rate with other governments, which are to compare to this government. You have seen Honorable Gary Nkombo stating clearly, no cadres in the markets. The minister is talking, and he cannot be going himself, going to the bus stations. When the minister of local government speaks, it's the president. He has said such. Has it happened before? Has it happened before? We have political will to run, to take over. Some of these officers do not understand the principles of local government. Even when you tell them, we are local government, even this decentralization, some of them, they don't exert their influence on other directors, because in the district, the council secretary is the main person. DACO should report issues to do with agriculture to the council in the council meeting. The council chair or the mayor is supposed to receive reports from as a devolved system. But some of them don't understand. They don't even understand their town clerks or council secretary. Sorry for that. Now, the minister of local government, he's been seen even going himself. Which minister would want to be unpopular? But because they know what they want to do is these officers to take over from the pronouncements of the minister, to take over and ensure that they are in control. Monies from the bus stations, monies from the markets, the government has given them. This law of Markets and Bus Stations Act, it was there, but it was not being implemented. So this government has come now to say, you people, this is the thing. but people are not taking advantage. So they're the ones letting down the minister and the president. So there's no excuse now to enhance the revenue collection. So if they enhance the revenue collection, and these are departments that are running, they're not the ones running CDF. CDF is not meeting every day, and these are people who are in the finance departments. Workers are working, they're working. They want a salary. You have no excuse to fail to pay workers. There are councils which have their revenue base is very low. You can understand, I can give you some of them like Mongu. Mongu's revenue base is low. Mbala, the revenue base is low. So when these councils, you categorize them, you are supposed to come up with a structure that is going to say this is a municipality, but its establishment cannot be related to a council like Nakonde, which receives a lot of money.
Let's pick this call, Mr. Nyambose. You are through to the People's Verdict. Good evening.
Good evening,
Yes, sir. Your name and where you are calling us from? Okay, you are calling from Lusaka?
The line is a bit bad. I don't know what is it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but now we can hear you. You can just speak a little louder.
Sorry?
Now we can hear you loud and clear. So you can just give us your name and where you are coming from and give us your contribution.
Let me just good evening, one of your bosses.
Good evening, my boss. How are you?
In Makora,
Timakora.
Nawanga, Nimezima,
Yo, Gava.
Kemizuri Saka, Amdala, Nakumulwako, Kayoyo Tunu, Ukumuja, Wakutuki, Goma, Saboma, Natono, Masina, Nawanga, Mabina, Muri, Gamon. When you told him, you're
Okay, I think we have a bad reception there. Okay, we have a bad reception there. Do try to call us again so that we can get to talk. We wanted to get you as loud and clear so that we can be able to respond accordingly. But we were not able to get exactly there what our previous caller wanted to share with us this time around. Now, let's continue, Mr. Nyambose. I want to also find out, when it comes to governance in Zambia, there's been a concern pertaining to the cost of living. Many Zambians feel things are too expensive. According to the JCTR, the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflections, BNB, the cost of living, for example, for a family of 5 living in Lusaka is beyond 9,000, and this has continued to raise a lot of concerns. Even you, as you were a labor leader, a leader there, I remember you referring to the JCTR BNB to say councils need to be given more money because the cost of living was high then. I remember. This is not the only time when Zambia is experiencing the high cost of living. We are coming from that trajectory. But I want to get your perspective. How are you comforting the people of CHASEFU in this aspect in terms of when it comes to food, Pamala?
Thanks so much for that one. There are a lot of factors that affect the cost of living. As for the people of CHASEFU, if there is late delivery of FSIP or inputs, it affects not only CHASEFU but the whole nation, because farmers will not be able to grow enough. And if farmers grow enough, there is a quick delivery of inputs, and the inputs are received in quantities that people appreciate. You find that the cost of living will go down because the price of the staple meal, mini meal, will go down. So other factors is the climatic changes. Yes. When we can have the inputs, but if the rains are not like we had last season, late running for, it affects everything. We have the challenges of the KCM and our mining sector. If we are affected, the government cannot generate enough because they're not producing or exporting enough copper. They cannot get the income. The other major factor is the factor of how the economy and the debt has affected the nation. This one is common knowledge. That's why we need all of us, patriotic Zambians, to support the president in his quest to fix this economy through the measures that he's putting in place. We should pray for him that we succeed. Because if the president or the government succeeds, it's us who have succeeded. The benefits are ours. So the president and his government has put up a program to ensure that they get this bailout, to ensure that the debt payment is eased so that they can have money in the economy to do this and that. Thereby the cost of living will come down. When the cost of living comes down, we are able to manage. The ordinary person in the streets, the ordinary person in CHASEFU is able to buy the staple commodity, and the cost of living goes down. And the worker will get the benefit because the worker will be paid promptly and the worker will be paid a wage. Their wage will have the buying power because the cost of living has come down. They will have certain money for other important things to do. Currently, yes, we have this challenge of the cost of living, and it's the prayer for all of us as Zambians to ensure government can fix this. And we should not politicize it. We should encourage a government that is trying to fix it, because what was damaged, the damage of meaning was too much to the economy.
Now, how is CHASEFU healing from the issues pertaining to floods, just like other areas, including Lusaka, where it was affected with floods? How did that affect that locality? As we wind up, Honorable, I want you to just give me that perspective.
CHASEFU, particularly Pikamanaza Kingdom, on the 11th of February, we were affected, but you saw it on social media. I was in Chipata. I had to cut short of my program. I went to CHASEFU to see the damage that the storm. It has never happened. It was raining and dropping stones, breaking even houses. One drop of an ice or maybe a stone ice breaking a house, cutting the fields, uprooting, damaging crops. And this has affected the people. Those people were affected. The government moved in to give them relief food. But that was the one-off thing to sustain them in that period. They are affected. The yields have been affected. Not only Pikamanaza's kingdom, the entire CHASEFU, even Magode's kingdom, the yield is not was not as per expectation. It's not as per expectation because of the effects of the same climate change. And I'm happy the Minister of Green Economy and the Environment is busy trying to engage us. The Honorable Madam Speaker has given us an opportunity to start talking about planting of trees in our area so that we can replenish, because the damage, especially in our area, this issue of tobacco farming, has cut a lot of trees. We need to, and I've taken it that I go to the radio, sensitize the people, and also encourage them in tree planting. We are trying to get a very big program to go, and maybe we can mitigate these challenges. Otherwise, the effects are there. We have been affected, we are not spared. And this climate change is a real issue.
And as we conclude our discussion, yes or no, it's a personal question. Seeing that you have seen that this government, you describe it as a government of goodwill, would you think that of probably abandoning being an independent member of parliament and being on the UPND ticket come 2026?
What I love so much are good principles of governance. And I would be very happy too. And I'm very happy. I work very well with them. Because I've seen, in terms you cannot match them in terms of the values and the policies that are put in place that benefit the Zambians. And who would want to know, who wouldn't want to work with them? The politics of rhetoric, trying to propaganda, do this, no. It's not helping the Zambians. I'll be very ready, and I'm already working with it. And I'll be very kind enough to say, Your Excellency President, if you give me an opportunity, 2026, I will stand on you because of the principles and values that mean well for the country. This is what everyone would want, even yourself. If things are moving very well, you work with them. so that we can add our value to them, not for other reasons. If I can add the value to his government or the party, I'll be willing. And so far I see that they're doing very well. But as at now, I'm an independent and working very closely with them and I alert them. Even on the floor where they're not doing very well, I say no. But the majority of the things, they are very good for the country. I pray that President Hakainde Hichilema can continue up to so many years so that this country can change. Imagine 25.7 million, 23.3 million. Then he gives us more, and I hear from the grapevine he wants to, if he thinks he work well, 57. For CHASEFU, for the next 10 years, can it be the same? Not only CHASEFU, even Lusaka, Mwinilunga, Chavuma, this country will change, my brother Soko. This is the president and what you should support. Good things, not rhetoric.
Thank you, Honorable, for making it for the program. I'm
humbled and I'm very grateful for hosting me. I hope I've made sense to the Zambians, but I believe that on the good political trajectory, this country can be changed. We just need to be patriotic.
Thank you.
Andy.
Interesting. Our dear viewers, in conversation we had the CHASEFU independent member of parliament, MISHECK NYAMBOSE. He was giving us his perspective pertaining to the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. Our topic was themed, is CDF the only answer to development? And our guest did respond based on his opinions. In case you want to follow this live broadcast, you can still watch it on our Facebook page, and also make sure that you find out on the repeat at 14 hours, and that is tomorrow. And always remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel, and that we exist because of you, our dear viewers, and we want to thank those who managed to go through, and those who could not get through to us. Keep trying until we continue to engage on matters that matter on our country. And this is where I have to excuse the screen, and remember to always keep it on Camnet TV. The main news will be up next at 19:30. This has been Patrick Soko.